Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28 in 1971 to May Musk and Errol Musk in Pretoria, South Africa. His mother May was and still is a model. His father Errol was a South African-born electromechanical engineer, sailor, and pilot. He also has a younger brother and a sister. At the age of 17, Elon left South Africa to attend Queen's University in Ontario, Canada. This was in part to avoid military service in the South African military, as required after high school. As a child, Elon accelerated quickly in learning and reading. By the age of 10, he was learning basic computing, and at the age of 12, he developed and sold a game for $500. Until the age of 15, Musk was bullied severely by many of his classmates and peers. He was quoted on the subject saying, "For the longest time I was the youngest and the smallest kid in the class because my birthday just happens to fall on almost the last day that they will accept me into school, June 28th. It didn't take him long to step away from his studies and begin to pursue karate, wrestling, and judo in order to defend himself. Eventually he was fighting back against his aggressors and they soon left him alone. Elon has recalled his father verbally berating him in the time leading up to his departure from college to go to Canada. He would call him an idiot, telling him that he would never make it. His parents divorced in 1980. When Elon did eventually move, it wasn't long before things started to look better for him. He arrived in Canada in 1989 and began classes at Queen's. After his time in Canada, Musk left to study business and physics at the University of Pennsylvania in 1992. After graduating with an undergraduate degree in economics and staying for a second bachelor's in physics, he moved on for further education. He enrolled in and began classes at Stanford University in California, but after only 2 days he decided to drop out. His move to California has been timed perfectly with the internet boom. In 1995, he and his brother Minbo Musk founded a tech startup, Zip2. This company created and sold city guides to newspaper publishers including the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. In February of 1999, Zip2 was sold to Compaq for $307 million and $34 million in stocks. At 24 years old, with 7% of this sale, Elon Musk had just made $22 million. 4 years later, in 1999, Elon founded X.com. The website offered an online money transfer service via email. Not long after, in 2000, X.com merged with Confinity, another online money transfer. Under the Confinity umbrella was a service called PayPal, which the company was later renamed to. Elon was pushed out of his CEO position in 2000 due to internal disagreements. This turned out not to be so bad for Elon, as eBay later acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion in stock. Elon Musk was the company's largest shareholder with over 11%, allotting him roughly $165 million alone. Utilizing his newfound fortune, Elon proceeded to found another venture, this time closer to his heart. SpaceX, or Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, was founded in 2002. By 2008, the company was awarded a contract for cargo transportation to the International Space Station by NASA. And in 2012, SpaceX did just that. Their rocket, the Falcon 9, was launched early that year. The rocket contained half a ton of cargo for the astronauts on board, making history as the first ever private company to send a rocket to the International Space Station. Since then, SpaceX has launched over 60 more rockets privately and commercially. Following their first government contract, SpaceX continued to launch its rockets out of our atmosphere. They soon also successfully launched a satellite into our orbit. But this wasn't the only intent of SpaceX. Musk has a vision of colonizing Mars, and part of his initial reasoning behind founding SpaceX was to do just that. In September of 2016, SpaceX published a video of 3D renderings depicting their intended mission to Mars. Elon was quoted as saying, "I think that a future where we are a space-bearing civilization and a multi-planet species is very exciting." He went on, "In order for that to happen, we've got to dramatically improve the cost of spaceflight." The concept he envisioned required reusable rockets. And because SpaceX is private, they do not have to adhere to the same level of red tape that government organizations generally have to follow. SpaceX also manufactures around 90% of their parts in-house. To put it in perspective, on average for NASA to launch a comparable rocket, it will cost between $100 and $260 million. SpaceX can manufacture and launch a Falcon 9 rocket for under $0.3 million. The fuel alone per launch cost about $200,000. SpaceX hasn't slowed down either. On February 6, 2018, they successfully launched the Falcon Heavy rocket, the most powerful rocket on the planet. They've also announced plans to build a new rocket, which they've called a Big Falcon rocket. It's intended to stand at over 100 meters tall and carry over 250,000 kilograms. Today, SpaceX is the largest private producer of rocket engines in the world and holds the world record for thrust-to-weight ratio in a rocket. Musk's other company, Tesla, is also making great strides in the motor industry, as well as his companies SolarCity, the Boring Company, Hyperloop, and Starlink. Elon has spoken a great deal about his ideas of the future, from a colony on Mars to mechanical implants in humans to interface with computers. The future of SpaceX also seems bright, not to mention Tesla and the Boring Company. From rocket ships in space to high-performance electric sports cars, Elon Musk has gotten the world's attention. He seems to have an innate ability to do whatever he sets his mind to.